All right, everybody, tonight we're going to be doing solving problems involving surfaces. We're going to start with number 7, which I will do. It says Jacob is putting tiles on the section of his yard labeled A, B, and C. What is the area of the parts that need tiles? Well, section A is just going to be 3 by 6. And that, of course, would be 18. Section B is going to be, well, this is not 7.5. This whole thing is here. But if we subtract 3 from it, we'll get 4.5. And we can multiply that by, well, this is not 6. It's half of it. So we would put 3. And now we would take 4.5 times 3. Let's get our calculator for that. 4.5 times 3. And that's going to give us 13.5. And now we're going to part C. And we know that's a triangle. So right off the bat, we're going to multiply this by 1/2. And it's 3 by 3, right? So let's see. It's 3 by 3. And then we have to divide it by 2. So that's going to be 9 divided by 2, which would be 4.5. Now we have to add these all together. We've got 18. We've got 13.5. And we got 4.5. Well, I know 5 and 5, that's going to be 0. Carry the 1. That's going to make this, let's see, one more. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's going to give me a 6. Carry the 1. That's going to be, looks like 36. So the area of the parts that need tile will be 36 meters squared. All right, and we're going to drop down past number 8 now, which will be yours to do, and I'm doing number 9. Find the surface area of this prism. Well, I know that 2 of them are going to be 4 by 8. So 4 times 8. And then since there's 2 of them, top and bottom, I'll have to multiply that by 2. I also know another 2 will be 4 by 15. So that would be 4 times 15 times 2. And then I know another one is going to be, let's see, that would be 8 by 15, right? 8 by 15, this side and the other side. So that would be 8 times 15 times 2, since there are 2 sides as well. And then once I find the answers to these, I'll have to add them together to find the total. Well, let's see. 4 times 8 is 32, and 32 times 2 will be 64. Now I got 15 times 4, that's going to be 60, and 60 times 2 will be 120. Now here's the hard one. We got 15 times, well, we'll go with 8. If 4 times 15 was 60, then 8 times 15 would have to be 120. And 120 times 2 would be 240. And now we can add these together. I should get 4. That would give me 2, carry the 1, and that would give me 4. So it should be 424 inches square. All right, and I want to make sure I label, yep, that was labeled correctly. So it should be 424 inches squared for number. And let's mosey on down here to number 11 now, since I'm doing all the odd ones. A block of wood has a shape of a rectangular prism. The bases are right triangles. Find its surface area. Well, let's see. This side here is going to be 2 by 15. So that's going to be 2 times 15. And that's going to be 30. This side over here is 1.5 times 15. So 1.5 times 15. Let's see what we get with that. 1.5 times 15. 1.5 times 15. That's going to give us 22.5. This side over here is going to be 2.5 times 15. So this would be 2.5 times 15. Let's see how much that is. 2.5 times 15 equals 37.5. 37.5. And then we're going to have to add that to the triangles. Well, we know that that's base times height divided by 2. And our base is 1.5, and our height is 2. So that's 1.5 times 2. And then we're going to divide it by 2. 1.5, we would not use the slant height here because that's going to give us the slant height. We need the height of the triangle. So really we got 2 over 2, and that means each triangle is going to be 1.5. And since there's 2 triangles, we'll have to multiply that by 2. And 1.5 times 2 should give me 3. So that means both of the triangles, 2 triangles, are going to equal 3. And we're ready to go ahead and add everything together now. Well, 5.5, 0.5 make 0, carry the 1. This is going to be, well, 7 and 3 is 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're going to put a 3 here. Don't forget our decimal. And we don't carry, well, actually we do. We carry 1 because that was 13. And now we have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That means the whole thing is going to be 93 inch square. And we're ready to go ahead and tackle number 13 now. Find the surface area of this rectangular hexagonal prism. Show your work. Wow, this is going to be something else. Well, we can start with the sides first. We know each side is going to have 4.3 times 14. And we're going to have to go ahead and multiply that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. We know that because there's 6 sides up here. So 4.3 times 14 times 6 will tell us all the sides area. Now we got to figure out this hard part up here, which is going to be the hexagon. And a hexagon has 6 sides to it. How can we deal with this hexagon? Well, they give us a clue here. They're saying that the radius of this hexagon is 4.3. The height from the center to the outside here is 4.3. And why is that significant? Well, if you take every side of this hexagon, and I'm just going to go ahead and take that little side there off, and if we put it to the center, all right, and let's just say we go from here to here, and here to here, and here to here, we find out we've got 6 triangles, right? And if we know from the side to the center is 4.3, we know the height of the triangle. So base times height divided by 2 is our formula. If we know the height is 4.3, and we know the base, well, each side here is 5 centimeters, right? And I'm sorry, I have to correct this one over here. I thought this 4.3 was pointing to the side. It's actually 5. So I'm going to erase this over here and put 5. And now I realize that this base is 5. So that's 5 times 4.3 divided by 2. And then we're going to have to take that answer and multiply it to 6 because there's 6 triangles, right? And then we're going to have to multiply it to 2 because there's 2 sides. So let's do this here. 5 times 4.3 divided by 2. Well, if we take 5 times 4.3 and then divide it by 2, that's going to equal 10.7. If we multiply that now times 6, then we know each of these hexagonal figures is 64.5. Okay, so the area of this is 64.5. And now, since there's a top and a bottom, I have to take 64.5 and multiply it to 2 to find out the area of both, and that's going to be 129. And now I'm ready to go ahead and solve this. Well, this is 5 times 6, which is 30, and 30 times 14. Well, I can go ahead and put it in my calculator again to help me out here. 30 times 14, that's going to equal 420. And now I know I can go ahead and add these together to find the total surface area. It looks to me it's going to be about 649 centimeters square. 649 centimeters square. And we'll double check our work to make sure we didn't make any mistakes. 0 plus 9 is going to be 9. 2 plus 2 is 4. I'm sorry, 4 plus 1, I must be getting tired. 4 plus 1 is not 6, everybody, it is 5. So it should actually be 549 centimeters squared. I stand corrected. Always good to double check your work. The last one I'm going to do looks like to be number 15. The base of a prism is an equilateral triangle. The base of a prism is an equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle means all the sides are the same, right? And the prism comes down like this. And now it says, with an area of 73.2 square centimeters, the area of each lateral face is 104 square centimeters. Riley incorrectly claims that the surface area is 250.4 square centimeters. What is the correct surface area? Okay, it says that the equilateral triangles with an area of, that means these areas are 73.2, both the top and bottom. So we're going to have to multiply that by 2 to find out what the bottom is, right? Erase that. So I've got to find out what this, that means it's 73.2 times 2. 73.2 times 2. And that's going to give me 146.4. 146.4. That's just for the triangles now. Now I've got 3 shapes here, and it says the area of each lateral face, the lateral face of the sides, is 104. That means if it's a triangle, there's 3 sides to it. That's 104 times 3. So we got one side, the back side over here, and then we got the side over here, right? So that's 3 sides, and that's going to make 104 times 3. That's going to equal 312. Now I've got to take 312 and add it to 146.4. If I do that, I see that I've got 4, I've got 8, I've got 5, trying to be careful with my adding this time, and I got 4. That means my answer is 458.4. And since we're talking area, it says the correct area should be centimeters squared. 458. Last part says, what could Riley's error have been? Well, looks like he was shy by about 2 lateral faces. So I'm going to say that he only added 1 lateral face, because if we take 146.4 and we add only 1 lateral face, which is 104, then we're going to get 4 point, look at that, exactly what he got, 250.4. So I'm going to say his mistake was he only added 1 lateral face instead of 3. Let's get this out of the way. He only added 1 lateral face instead of 3. Okay. The rest of them are yours, so I'll see you in class. Have a great night.